Day number 13, magazine or newspaper and a belly band. This prompt makes me super happy because I don't know about you, but I've just been hoarding my magazines and not doing enough with them. So let's use those magazines. Hello and welcome. This is a collaboration with Luise Heinzl, and this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Can you believe we are at the halfway point? I'm absolutely amazed at how time is flying. Let's get some Haribo gummy bears. And it's again the Christmas gummy bears. I think they could put more variety in here, right? Although I'm not complaining, I love these. I will, however, save these for later since it's still morning and I have not had breakfast. So I used to have a subscription for Daphne's Diary for, I think, about a year. And of course, I've bought Daphne's Diary magazines in the bookstore as well a few times. They are not the cheapest magazine, I have to say that, but they are so inspiring. There are so many great images here and ideas, and I just love working with these magazines, but I've just been hoarding them and I have more than these. So I think this is the perfect prompt to remind me to use my magazines. So my go-to magazine for artsy projects is definitely Daphne's Diary and also the Flow magazine, of which I don't have a copy here at the moment. So I've spent some very enjoyable leisurely time going through some of the magazines and taking out pages that inspire me. Either the image inspires me or the colors inspire me. And I think these are great pages for collaging. See, sometimes you just need scraps of paper with different colors. This was for another project. I don't remember which one. This has such a cute image here, this winter owl. It's helpful if you have a certain color palette in mind for your journal, if you're going to be making ephemera for your journal. Otherwise, it at least helps to know what colors you like. That helps you to look for things in the magazines. So I also know I have this nature theme. So of course a bird is something I need to take out. And also we have this cute little squirrel. Sometimes it's really just the colors where I think I can use the scraps. There's some really cute drawings here. So you never know what is going to inspire you. So I want to try two different types of belly bands, and the first one is going to be making a little snippet roll. And for that, I'm just going to tear some scraps out of these papers in a color palette that will work with what's happening so far in my urban nature junk journal. So I'm going to stick to muted tones, earthy tones, maybe some bluish turquoise, maybe some orange and yellow. This is something that might be fun to do when you're watching something, maybe a YouTube video or a movie or something. You can, of course, do this with any kind of magazine. It could be a fashion magazine, an interior magazine, whatever you might have. It's just about colors at this point. So now that I have some scraps here, I can look at this and try to decide which ones go together or which ones don't really match my color scheme. So I can see here, for example, although this is cute and I love this torn edge here, I don't think this really works with what I have in mind for my journal. On this one, I'm also just going to tear off the tips. And this one here, even though it is very pretty and I love that it has stitching here, I don't think really works here. I think the rest should be okay. I'm not so sure about this one, but I'll keep it there for now. Yeah, and I think the rest is okay. I find the easiest way to make a snippet roll for a belly band or for anything else is to use masking tape as a base. There's wider ones and there's narrower ones. This way you don't have to worry about sticking things down. But what you need to consider is if you are going to sew over your belly band, then the masking tape could create a problem if it is too sticky, that it might make your needle sticky. I have not had that happen, but I think it also depends on the age of your masking tape. So I think the older it is, the less sticky it is. Or what you could also do is maybe go over it a few times with your fingers to make it a little less sticky. The other option, of course, is to just cut or tear a piece of paper and then glue your pieces of paper on, maybe with a glue stick or any glue that you prefer. I'm going to be using this one. So I don't know how long mine needs to be for my journal, but I'll make sure it's big enough. So I put this pencil here on top to kind of hold it in place, because otherwise it always curls up. And now I'm just going to start tearing some scraps, and I will place them down on this piece of masking tape. So you've seen me do this already when we worked with our tickets. And I'm going to work from the top down. You could also randomly stick your papers, but I'm just gonna work methodically from the top down. So now maybe I want some yellow. And I'm always making sure to go over the edges of my masking tape because of course I don't want any of that showing later. Maybe then some brown. And if you want to go for weird shapes, then by all means go for weird shapes. You could throw some book pages in there in between or other scraps. Actually, I think I might add some book page. I do try to vary the shapes of the rectangles a little bit at least. Kind of don't want to tear into this. I might want to save this one for the next belly band I want to do. That might be a great image for that. Always making sure that I don't have the same colors near each other. Of course, I want a nice variety. This is so fun to do. I love projects like this because you're not thinking too much, hopefully. You're hopefully just kind of slapping things down. And it's very relaxing. Like I could do this all day. Even just sorting through the magazines and tearing out pages, I find super relaxing. Perfect for a cold afternoon with a cup of whatever you like to drink. Let's put one more down here, maybe another orange one. We didn't have a lot of that. And the rest I will just tear off. So now we have this fun strip here as a base, and I just saw this chocolate wrapping on my desk, and I thought, I think we need to add some of this as well. So we could just kind of try to put some scraps in between. I will be sewing this down with my sewing machine, so I'm not worried about them not sticking right now. Don't want to go overboard, but I do think it's such a fun addition. Okay, I will take this to my sewing machine. I went a bit crazy with my sewing because I was having so much fun. So I was just trying some crazy things there. I used some black thread. And since this is looking way too new and not vintage, I of course want to change that. So I will add some coffee to that. I always keep a spray bottle of instant coffee in my fridge. I don't put anything into it to make it last. Like I know some people put vinegar or something into it. I find that, for me personally, not necessary. This keeps for weeks and weeks without going bad for me. This is kind of like half dry now, and I'm just realizing it's not really giving the effect that I want. So I'm going to add some more drops here so that I can add some more ink. Now this is sepia. Again, I buy mine locally. I'm sure you can find them. I'm hoping this is not too thick. It might be. Well, in either case, it will be a cool effect once it has dried. Not sure what it's going to do on the foil. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Or shall we add some more? I feel like I want to add some more water. Coffee. To spread it out a little bit more, you know what I mean? Never tried that. And now the hardest part is to wait for the drying. While that is drying, we can start with the second belly band I wanted to try. I've seen a tutorial by Eve from Scrapbooking with Me Crafts, and she had a genius idea of using a junk mail envelope and cutting that down and making that into a belly band with a secret pocket. Now I want to do this with a window, so the pocket isn't going to be secret, but I still hope that it will be a cool idea. So first we need to trim down the envelope. I'm just realizing I should have torn it. Oh well. It's actually okay because I can just add the scraps in a way that the edges then will be torn. So now I'm going to take my scraps and cover the envelope, but leaving the window out. And again, I'm going to do my best not to overthink where things go and what dimension they are, because otherwise I can sit here way too long. These are all great exercises to let go of perfectionism. Okay, we have the front covered. We don't need to cover the back because it will be glued down. I'm wondering if I should add some gold foil to this. Why not? Sometimes you just gotta get things out of your system, right? And instead of the coffee for this one, I'm just going to use my Distress Oxide Vintage Photo to mute everything down a little bit. And then probably also go around the edges. And before I decide what I want to put here, I want to first see what it looks like when we see an image through this envelope. Remember, I said I wanted to keep this because I think this would make the perfect image to be seen through this window. Now it's not wide enough, so I want to put him on this piece of cardstock, and I think the colors are just beautiful together. This is of course Tim Holtz. I just want to make sure that he will be placed perfectly in the window, which means that the cardstock shouldn't be taller than this. This here can be a little bit shorter. And then on the bottom, I'll have my cardstock go here, and then I can tear the image right here. So I've cut everything down, I've inked up the edges, and now I can glue this on here. And I want some writing space on the back, so I will cover this. I have here a piece of coffee dyed ledger paper, which is almost wide enough. It's going to be good enough. I just realized I decapitated her. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's the collateral damage of junk journaling. I'm telling you, junk journaling is a really brutal passion. Let's add some inking. I also stitched around it. And since it's kind of hard to take out of a pocket like this, Eve added a tab here, which is super smart and always cute. By the way, if I forgot to mention it, of course, that video of Eve's is linked below for you. Maybe you have a tab punch or a die cut, but if you don't, you might enjoy my newest goodie. I have this printable in my shop with lots of different vintage tabs for you to cut out and play with. So that one will be 50% from today, which is the 13th, until the 20th at the end of the day, Central European time. So midnight, Central European time. That will be linked for you. And the code you will need to add in the promo code field in my shop is DEPHEMEREMBER tabs. So I'm going to choose one of these. So there's two different shapes. We have this shape and this shape. I think both are fun. I think I might like this one because I really like the scripty handwriting on it. Conveniently, it's already inked up, so I just need to glue it down. So now let's stick this in. Yep, and we have the peacock peeking through the window, and we can easily take it out with the tab. Such a cool idea, Eve. I love this. Now I just want to add something here. Maybe you remember I showed these leaves a couple of days ago. I printed these with real leaves and acrylic paint. And this is a photocopy. And I'm thinking if I cut these two out, maybe I can put them here. Interestingly, the yellow is exactly the same yellow of that. What a coincidence that is. I think I want the yellow one to be underneath, otherwise it's too much with this. But something like this I think is pretty cute. Maybe I want to put something else underneath to make them come out a little bit more. We could try a piece of music paper because we need something that has a totally different color. Maybe a bit narrower and inked up. I think that might do the trick. So I think that's the way I will do it. I want these leaves to come out even more. So I'm going to try this with a charcoal pencil. And try it with the soft one. And gently try to go around them. And then hopefully I can blend that a little bit. I'll first try it with a blending stump, and if that doesn't work, I can still try with some water. If you don't have any of these paper blending stumps, you can also use a Q-tip. But actually, this is working pretty well. I don't think I'm going to need water. Much better than with that Tombow marker. Yep, just have to be careful not to rub away the paper. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's all right. Coming back to our snippet roll belly band. So I've kind of dried it now. A lot of the ink is now on my deli paper instead of this, but still some of it you can see the spots. So it did help to vintage it up. I love this here, right here. It's definitely muted down a lot compared to what it looked like first. And for this one as a focal point, I think I want to use one of these sentiments that I found in something. I don't remember what this is from. I like this one. You will succeed. That's a very positive message. So I think this might be cute on our belly band. So I will tear that out and we will see what that looks like. Another idea would be, of course, to stamp a sentiment and to just put it on your belly band. Yep, after some vintaging up, this will be cute, I think. This way I still have plenty of space on both sides that I can tear it off if it's too long for my page. This one needs something. Can you guess? Ta-da! And if this gets a few, I guess that's okay too. I just want to cover up this window. Stop, Barbara, stop! Wait, maybe just a few more here. Do you still hear Luise in your head from the jelly plate printing video? Stop, Barbara! That was priceless. Look at all that yumminess. Let's check how these would look in a journal, and as always I'm going to use Honey's beautiful journal for demonstrating. I think my journal will have to be as big as this one because otherwise my ephemera won't fit in because I've made everything so big. Let's try this one. Honey, this is such a masterpiece. I love your journal so much. So this would be the junk envelope belly band. So we would be gluing it here and here, making it into a tuck spot. And then we can just tuck in a piece of ephemera. Like that. How cool. And of course, we can pull this out. We can write something on the back. And then we have this belly band. So again, I would just trim off the top and the bottom. This is just beautiful. And we would tuck something in there. I love it. And I actually love that I added the gold foil. That makes it a lot more special. You could, of course, also glue this one down on the side here, on 3 sides. That way you have the tuck spot here, and of course you have another one then underneath. You could do the same thing with this, of course. There's lots of different options for you. So those are my 2 inspiration pieces for you today. Check your magazines, enjoy leafing through them. If you don't have any, maybe there's someone in your family or your friends that have a few laying around that are just collecting dust. As always, I can't wait to see what Luise is doing with this prompt. So I hope to see you there later on. Thank you for being here once more, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow for day 14. Love you guys.